This is Goals with Soul, the podcast for visionary coaches and entrepreneurs, building your business with inspired action. In alignment with your mission and authentic message, so you can create impact for your soul clients and feel lit up every day. I'm your host, Jo Ingram, married mum of 3 daughters from London and a former ad agency director turned business coach and strategist. In Goals with Soul, we blend revenue generation with energetics, marketing strategies with pranic healing, and ambitious business goals with our soul's desires. If you're looking to build your business with less efforting and more ease, this is the podcast for you. Let's dive in. Welcome to Goals with Soul. I'm Joanna Ingram, and today we're diving into the question of whether more content can attract more clients. And as you've probably seen from the title, that isn't something that I believe in at all. And even more so, it's not just about attracting more clients, but attracting the right clients, premium clients, clients that you love to work with, the ones that show up with ease, the ones that follow your process, the ones that have self-trust, the ones that are absolutely intent on getting the outcome that they came for, and indeed the ones that move through your process and get that outcome to their great delight as well as yours. Now, when I first started my business about 4 years ago now, I was told that I had to share content every single day on as many media platforms as possible. And in fact, I took that to heart, being a good girl, being somebody that likes to follow authority, the eldest daughter. So what I did was immediately open all the accounts, Instagram, a Facebook business account, my LinkedIn, as well as some other random things that I can't even remember the name of now because they are definitely not part of my current repertoire. And I started sharing on all the platforms every single day. I was in Canva non-stop. And putting out all that content, of course, was an incredible strain on my energy. And I'm not going to lie, the actual quality of the content wasn't exactly top notch because I was just trying to pump it out all the time, and I was getting into the old Canva quote cards and, you know, all the things that we're told when you start off, this is what you should do. And as I became a little bit more sophisticated, I did the next things that I was told I should do, like starting to do Instagram reels. I did my fair share of lip syncing and pointing at bubbled words that popped up and all these things. And I got to a point where I just couldn't do it anymore. Now, it's around the same time that I learned that I'm an empathic 5-1 reflector in human design, which means that I was just absorbing all of this external influence and trying to mirror others who quite naturally can show up and do those things. Perhaps if you're a generator, you're like, yeah, no probs, Joanna. I just show up and I just pump out the content. And I've had coaches and mentors who are generators, and it's not something that I'll be doing in a hurry again because I cannot do what they're modeling because their energy is completely different to my own. Now, did I say, if I can't keep up and do all of this business is not for me? No, I didn't. It's simply about deciding how to make it work for you. And as I've discovered over the last couple of years, those couple of years where I'm now attracting so many beautiful souls as clients into my business. Oh, hello, Tate. That's my cat, my new kitten, actually. So if you can hear a little jingle bell, that's just Tate moving around and stepping on things he shouldn't be. And going back to me feeling worn out and fed up with constantly creating that content, the reality is I know I'm not alone. You know, perhaps you're listening to this and thinking, gosh, this is exactly how I feel. Creating content isn't something I enjoy anymore. And the truth is, so many intuitive coaches and healers like you and like me feel exactly the same way, getting stuck on this never-ending treadmill of content creation. But the way it shifted is one of the things I did was I dropped this construct and I started dialing in a quality of content rather than quantity. And like I said, now I'm magnetizing these dream clients for me. And they're the ones who value my expertise and they value the outcomes that I help them create without me feeling drained by my marketing and loving my client sessions. That are now my reality. Now, I'm going to share with you exactly the way to make this your reality too if you've been feeling burned out by constant content creation and wondering why it's not calling in the clients you most want to work with, the ones you define as premium. Now, I share all of this within my RAD3 Value Messaging System, which I've developed through iteration over the last few years, through partly a background in the 20 years of advertising, working for agencies that I've done as my long-term corporate career, but also dialing in exactly what intuitives and empaths in our industry really need to be doing as personal brands to attract individual clients into our coaching, consulting, and healing businesses. Now, I'm going to drop a link in the show notes so you can see my full training on the RAD3 Value Messaging System, which is actually part of my more recent masterclass. I'll drop both links because if you need to understand these things, I go into it in even more depth in those two places, and you'll get some pearls of wisdom, some insights that I'm not going to be sharing right here on this episode because I like to keep them short and succinct and just invite you into greater depth if that calls to you. So let's dial into that RAD3 Value Messaging System. And the first part of this, the R in that RAD3, and it's called RAD3 because there are 3 parts to it: resonance, authority, and desirability. Resonance, right. Now you need to share that innate genius that you have, your unique brilliance and your bespoke approach, because this is what's going to speak to the heart of your soul client's struggles and desires. So it makes it feel like you're inside their head. You know, a lot of people say it feels like you're in my head, but that's the reality. And you'd be amazed at how many people have actually said those words to me. You know, when I read this content, when I heard you speak about that, it was like you're inside my head. You really understood it. And that's my goal for the work that I do with my clients. I want to create resonance when they put out content so their ideal premium clients feel like they're inside their heads. And there's no shortcut to this. The reality is you can't take a swipe file or copy somebody else's stuff or just, bring out those trite things that coaches in your niche say. You have to get really deep into what makes you unique and understand what their struggles are in detail. Specificity is so overlooked in this industry. And incredibly, it's so much about specificity that brings on resonance, which is why in my work, I just always challenging my clients when they say, oh, my client's got a struggle, they feel frustrated. I'm like, right, what's causing that frustration? Oh, what's causing that frustration is they're trying to get clients, but they're finding it really hard. Okay, specifically, how are they finding it hard to get clients? What is it they're doing? Oh, well, they just shared a masterclass and nobody watched it. Okay, right, and expand on that. Well, they did a launch and they worked for days and weeks on this masterclass, and when they got into that room, there were only 10 people there and only 1 person bought. Now, what you see here is getting more and more specific. And look, if I'm talking to you and you've done this, you're going to be saying, well, you just described me, right? But if I'd have said you're just frustrated, or even if I'd said you're just frustrated with your launch, I'm not really getting into the deep resonance that's required for your ideal clients, these premium, perfect fit, high frequency clients, to really resonate with what you're saying and know that you're the coach for them. And I'll take this one step further. It's not even just about the struggles, or perhaps even more so, it's about their desires. When you can reflect their needs and understand what it is they're trying to do, even more than just reflecting their struggles, you're going to be attracting people that are ready for change. And this is, I'm not going to go into detail now, but I'll share an episode soon about that high frequency, high resonance marketing. In fact, if you watch my masterclass, the link's in the show notes, I'm going to be going into all the details on high consciousness marketing that will expand on this point. But suffice to say right now that you need to be talking to their desires. You need to be understanding that what they want to do is effortlessly, to use my example just now, to effortlessly attract client with whatever content they put out in their ecosystem, whether that's a masterclass or just an organic post. The reality is that what they want right now is to deeply resonate. And look, it's kind of meta, but that's exactly what I'm sharing with you right now. So let's move on to the second part of the RAD3 Value Messaging System, and this is authority. Authority, if you want to attract premium high-level clients, is about showcasing your expertise. And the way that I believe you do that, the way I help my clients do so, is with unique frameworks and methods. Now, I know that you're going to have a method. You're going to have perhaps even a framework, a way that you work with your clients. But it's not so much about teaching you to suck eggs, which is a British phrase for teaching you the obvious, because I'm sure if you're an experienced and established coach or healer, you have your way of creating transformation. What I'm talking about now is how to create positioning for that transformation. And it's that positioning and the articulation of that positioning, or the lack thereof, is potentially why your marketing isn't hitting the mark. Oh, hey Tate, you're back again. You're so cute. Just wish you'd stop treading on my recording devices. So anyway, I love my kitten, and sometimes love conquers all, even if it slows me down on my recording. Let's get back to authority. I hope you don't mind the interruption, but this is part of life. I have to say, though, I'm actually recording this on the day that my kids went back to school after the long summer break. Woo! So a little kitten interference isn't a big deal. I've been waiting for weeks to actually record these because there's something about quietness in the house when you're making certain content. And I know for me, I dial into this almost download of information, but it has to be the right kind of frequency. So even with Tate pouring at my fingers, I'm definitely feeling the joy of sharing this stuff. And just to add a point to the resonance, when you're in that vibe, that high vibe state, that's the time to start creating your content, because there's so much truth in the energy that you transmit. Again, I share about that in the masterclass. Right, authority. Unique frameworks and methods, articulating them really clearly and making sure that they understand that your positioning is articulated so they know that they're going to get results when they work with you. This is essential. Your prospects need to know that they'll get that support that successfully creates the most important result that they're after at that time. And when I develop these frameworks with my clients, it's amazing the crystal clear clarity that often a multiple step process they have can be condensed and created in a succinct way that allows them to transmit the value of that offer, the value of their way of working to high-level clients. And in fact, oftentimes when I work with a client, for them, it's the first time that it's dropped in with that clarity. They'll use that framework when they're on the discovery calls to speak to people's hearts and minds. It's not just the intuition, it's the intellectual. They need to understand that these steps are exactly what they need. And that, in my world, is what creates authority. Sure, we need to share client results, testimonials, social proof. There are other aspects to it. But it isn't about banging people over the head saying, I'm the expert, I'm the expert. It's about demonstrating it and positioning it and articulating it with clear frameworks and methods that are uniquely yours. So now let's move on to desirability, the third important part of the RAD3 Value Messaging System. And this is super important because it's great to create content, it's great to get out there, but you need to get booked. It's about actually doing your transformational work with clients you love to work with. That's why you got into this, to create that impact and, yes, create the spaciousness that income provides you. So how do we create desirability? So to get booked, you've got to demonstrate the value of your transformative work and ask for the sale. Demonstrate the value, ask for the sale. Your offer promise needs to tap in to their needs. It's like a siren's call. It's like you've got to be really, really clear, not just from the point of contact, which is often the first piece of content they might read of yours, but all the way through. So the offers that you are then talking about and the value and the promise and the ways that you demonstrate it works through your frameworks, all the way through from first contact to finalized contract is a smooth, effortless piece of messaging, so they fully understand the value of working with you. So when your content includes these three essential ingredients, that's resonance, authority, and desirability, and you articulate them with precision and you share them single-mindedly, That's when you call in the premium clients without pumping out daily content, or indeed wondering what to say each time you write or record, because you simply know what your message is. You know what their struggles are and what their desires are. That's why one of the first pieces I always do with clients is to write a list with them. We co-create a list of all the struggles and all the desires that their absolute core premium client has. So it's effortless dialing in what they're going to talk about. And sure, there's more to it, but ultimately that's what content is. It's deep resonance followed by a call to action. Whether that call to action is encouraging you to go to my masterclass, which is something that, I'm really, really keen for you to do. And if I was going to do one piece of call to action, one piece that I'd like you to do, it's go and watch the masterclass, which I'm going to put the link in the notes. So here's what you need to do. You need to really dial in these three things. And if you need help doing that, then you can work with me to develop your unique messaging system, which will remove the need to create content daily, and it will call to the clients you want to work with most. So yeah, I'm going to break some rules of the industry here that say give them one clear call to action and only one, because you don't want to confuse your poor confused clients. But here's the thing, my clients can handle more than one piece of information at a time. I'm like this person that can hold so many pieces of information, and yeah, sometimes my brain gets a bit confused, but I don't want others to decide how much my brain can hold. So I'm going to share two calls to action with you today. One, watch my masterclass, just in case you didn't spot that one the first few times. But the second is also to work with me to actually develop your unique messaging system. And to do so, I'm sharing an invitation in my show notes that goes into a lot of detail about the exact ways that I work, whether it's in my 4-week intensive or in my longer term engagements. I put all the details of what's included in those, and including the price on that link. Have a look in there, have a look whether that's something that is right for you right now. And if you're curious but aren't sure, just reach out to me. You can email me on joe@iamjoeingram.com, or you can DM me over on Instagram at iamjoe.ingram, and we can have a quick chat to see if it's perfect fit for you. So have an inspired action week. Take care. Bye now.